This is part two of a series of 5 videos that I'm speaking with Mark Burgess about AI in a state agency. Mark, in the first section, we talked about the history of how we got up to the point where AI is now quite firmly in and around us. Where I want to talk to us in the second section is where we are with AI at the moment and automation and just basically where we are with everything.
Okay, so I mentioned in the first video that I prefer to talk about AI as LLMs, large language models. I think it makes things a little bit clearer because at the moment,
Just in case someone's not watched that first video,
yeah,
what very concisely, what do you mean by large language model?
yeah. So a large language model is the computer's been given the ability to understand text and numbers and the context of those text and numbers, and that's the end of it. Nothing more than that. So just let's put that on a.
There isn't a super brain
No,
or
no, there's no.
Skynet or anything.
No, forget anything else you've ever heard about AI. Let's just say that's it, right? It doesn't learn, it doesn't do anything. It can understand text and numbers and the context of text and numbers.
You mean what do you mean it can't learn? What's this machine learning stuff then?
Let's come back to that. So, so that's what it does. So next up, you've got AI put on the end of everything at the moment,
A bit like blockchain a few years ago.
Yeah, a bit like blockchain and all of that sort of stuff. So like my kids used to play these games on the apps, and everything would have like 3D after it. So I think it's important for people to distinguish between the two. So I'm going to talk about large language models because that for me is what people are talking about when they say AI. Where are we with it at the moment? Where does it go? So at the moment, we're in a place whereby I feel like a lot of people are being tricked into feeling like AI can pretty much do anything for them on its own. The reality is, without the right data sitting underneath it, it doesn't do anything at all.
And surely not only the data, but just like most things, it's the questions you ask.
The questions that you ask are
Because
important, but
we're all, there's almost this magic box where if I throw this problem at this magic box called AI, the solution will be fantastic. But surely, if it's just all it does is know words and numbers? The important thing is to get the right answer. You have to ask the right question.
Yeah, but more importantly, it has to have access to the right data. So, for instance, like what you're talking about would be using something like, say, ChatGPT, and throwing problems at it. I don't know, let's make some problems up, like a script for today's video or like the structure for something. Rewind back a few years to before ChatGPT. How would you have found that out on the internet? What would you have done if you needed some guidance on maybe like how to set up a video?
I'd have Googled it.
Right. So what ChatGPT is doing is it's Googling it for you, and it's stopping you having to look through the results. It's understanding the text, it's condensing it down, and it's bringing it to you in a small format. But it's nothing different to what you could have done before. And so the answer will be whatever is near the top of Google or around the top of Google into your GPT. So again, it's asking the questions, but it's access to the data. At the moment, GPT has access to the internet. And so that's the data it's going to give you. So, you do some great ghostwriting articles for people about in-depth detail on property statistics, which are not actively really available when you search on Google. So its answer is going to be gobbledygook because it doesn't have access to the data. It doesn't matter how you ask it, it's not going to give you the answer you want. So when an agent at the moment is seeing something promoted to them saying, this AI is going to find you all these potential vendors, or it's going to qualify all of your applicants, or it's going to match all your properties. No, it's not, because you haven't got that data, and neither have they. Neither has anybody. Like, you don't have a software that does that already. If you had a software that did it and you had the data, then yes, it could do it. But if it hasn't got any of that, no, it's not going to do that because it's just a large language model. It doesn't do anything magically on its own. Does that make sense? So where we sit as where I'm sitting from, obviously I'm biased, but for 10 years we've been building big data systems for estate agents, and it's been very complicated.
That's basically an estate agent's CRM database.
That's one of the pieces of the big data system.
What else is there?
Well,
we're talking to estate agents here.
Okay, so let's go with the word data.
Let's not get too deep here.
Yeah. When you say data, when an estate agent says data,
it's all about the insight from the data, which is the most important.
That's right. When an estate agent talks about data, they're talking about contact details. They're going, I've got loads of data. I've got 50,000 contacts in my database. Forget that. That's not data. That's contact details. Now what we're asking is, what data do you have that flows around those contacts to give you insight? So let's go extreme with it and talk about Google. Like, Google knows everything about you, so much so that when you start typing, it can finish your sentences for you. And not many people would want their entire Google, everything Google knows about them, plastered all over the internet. So that's data. And because of that, it can predict what you're going to buy, when you're going to buy it, where you're going to go, all of that, what content to show you. Estate agents don't have data, so they don't know in that 50,000 contacts, who's going to list, who's going to buy, who wants a mortgage, who's going to have they don't have any data. They just have contacts. A big data system has the CRM element that you're imagining. It's just one module of it. And then it has a module of what is everybody looking at on the internet? Who's on my website? Who's doing market appraisals? Who's doing instant valuations? What's happening with buyers? What's happening with sellers? Like, all of these, keep going. You can just keep going. More and more layers of data.
But okay, so I've got my contact details, but I don't have access to Google.
To knowing all of that information.
I don't have that information.
No, because you're using an estate agency software. If you were using Lifecycle, which is a big data system that has an estate agency software inside it, it will do that for you. It will know this guy that you did a valuation for 18 months ago has just been on your website reading what to do if you're thinking of selling your house in the next 2 months. It will piece that.
How the hell will it know that?
Because that's how Lifecycle is built. It tracks every contact inside the system, what content you're looking at. It's constantly pushing out.
So is that a bit like when I go to, I have trouble with my sinuses. So as soon as I type in some sinuses, I get Facebook adverts with sinuses. Is that a bit like that? So
it's a bit like that, but like there's inside Lifecycle, like, first of all,
this is all legal, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all legal. But like inside a normal estate agency CRM, if you've got too many contacts, it gets confusing because everybody's manually looking at those contacts. So everyone's manually trying to stay in touch with people. So if you've got too many, archive them. That's the first thing that has to change. In Lifecycle, you don't want to archive. There's no archive. We want, ideally, every person in the country that has a property to sell or is thinking of buying, or on the letting side of things, the same thing. And then the system is constantly pushing out content and properties. So weirdly, Lifecycle is the only estate agency software that is automatically matching people with properties. The other estate agency software is you have to press a button and it does some horrible match to people. Lifecycle is doing it in the same way. Probably the easiest way to look at it would be like a Rightmove alert. It's doing it automatically. So it's automatically pushing out properties. It's automatically letting people register. It's automatically pushing out content. And it also is automatically filtering down who needs a mortgage, who's a first-time buyer, who's got a house to sell in your area, who's on the market with other agents. It's filtering all of that out. And then it's tracking what they're looking at online.
Is this through these cookies? Is that how it's?
That's one of the ways. There's
other ways.
Yeah.
Again, this is all legal.
It's all legal, yeah. But Lifecycle's got like over 1 million algorithms inside it that's figuring this stuff out. And so it's always staying in touch with your contacts. It's always matching properties, and it's always putting content in front of the right people at the right time.
So by bringing everyone out, so your CRM, other CRMs are available, bringing the whole of your database out and then seeing the interactions that they have with you, your Facebook and all the other stuff, then you can have a propensity model to decide, well, this guy's about, you need to be flagging this up.
Absolutely.
Is that it?
Yeah, so you've got a market appraisal that went on the market with another agent. You chased them for a bit. You sort of forgot about it, but the system will put content in front of them about what to do if you're not happy with your agent. And then when they're reading it, it will put it on a dashboard and say, you might want to talk to this guy. He's on the market with another agent. He's literally just been reading what to do if you're not happy with your agent. It's easy. But here's coming back to AI. AI understands words and numbers and can use software that already exists. So that's what I'm talking about. Why that's difficult for the estate agent, even though it sounds easy and obvious, is it's a whole new way of working. They're busy already. They're doing viewings, they're doing valuations, they've got a full diary already. And
They just want a plug and play system that basically says, bring these people.
Yeah, but even if I gave that to them, they haven't, it's not part of their day at the moment. There is no part of an estate agent's day where he goes, oh, look, the computer's told me to speak to these 5 people.
We'll get the bloody computer to ring them up then.
So now what AI is doing, AI will allow us to go, okay, well, you don't have to do anything if you don't want, because I've got the software, I've got the data, I've got all the information that is needed here.
Okay. Oh, but then I don't want a robot ringing up potential.
Well, it doesn't have to ring them. Like you can decide what level we're talking about, but either way, what we're talking about is that system already does that work. So we can now think about how AI could be used to make it easier. If you've got a system that doesn't do that work, there isn't any AI that's going to suddenly make the system do that work for you. And that's getting back to what does a large language model do? It understands what's already there and makes it faster. It doesn't just make up new stuff.
I think we'll finish the second video there. In the third part of the video, I want to talk about how estate agents can prepare and compete. And specifically, and I don't want to turn this into a life cycle fest, is what can they be doing if they don't have life cycle and they can't change that, where they can use AI to their advantage. Okay.
Yes.